Good morning, everybody. We've got a mixed trade in the grain markets here early on Tuesday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. December corn futures down 2 cents at 5.75 3/4. January soybeans down 7 3/4 at 12.66 1/2. December Chicago wheat up a half cent at 8.46 1/4. December Kansas City wheat is up 4 at 8.64 3/4, and December spring wheat down 1 1/4 at 10.22 1/4. If you guys are listening on the podcast, as always, appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, guys. Hit that like button. Help me to grow this channel. If you guys are listening or watching and you have not seen this episode that I posted yesterday regarding 2022 corn and soybean budgets, certainly take a look at that. I had my friend Chris Barron from AgView Solutions on. He went through the numbers, which were based on his customer base, essentially. So I think it was a really good sample size. A lot of things have changed since we last did a budget update like this. So this episode is available on YouTube and also on the podcast app if you want to listen to it. But absolutely worth your while. Remember, guys, if you need some additional assistance from me, go to my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan in the upper right-hand corner. I offer a subscription service for $49.99 a month. As part of that service, I will make you aware of all of my grain marketing recommendations, essentially recommendations for cash sales broken down by crop year, by percentage. They're tracked every single day. I talk about things like capture and carry. I give you very specific targets when it comes to rolling HTAs or short futures positions, things along those lines. There are subscriber-only videos and content that are very, very popular that are also included. Check this deal out, guys. It's a monthly subscription. You can cancel it at any time. There's no other fee, no other obligation. Won't try to sell you anything else, so certainly give that a shot. There have been some heavy rains in Australia, and there are more heavy rains headed for Australia. And there is a lot of concern that these heavy rains will hurt the country's wheat crop. And if you can see my map here, this eastern part of Australia is where they grow a lot of wheat. And they're still going to have a record crop, but the quality of a lot of the wheat is going to be downgraded. They've already seen a ton of rain in these areas. They've got a whole lot more coming during the next 2 weeks. So the issue is not that the crop is going to be small, it's that the quality of the crop is going to be hurt. A lot of this wheat is going to be downgraded essentially from like milling quality to feed quality. A quote from one analyst suggested this: "There's no doubt that everyone is downgrading wheat to the point where we are going to get 200 to 300% more feed wheat than in a normal year." Australian milling wheat typically has a protein content of 10.5% or better. For comparison, HRW wheat futures here in the U.S., the delivery spec is 11% protein, so it's pretty comparable to that. They're talking wheat, a lot of this dropping down to like a 9% protein. So this is going to cause some mix-up here, certainly with the export system. And Australia is projected to be the world's 4th largest wheat exporter this year, behind only the Russia, the U.S., and Canada. So this is a big issue, certainly part of the reason why the wheat market has surged to some multi-year highs here. Soybean planting in Brazil moving very quickly, 86% complete as of last Thursday, compared to 81% last year, so they're ahead of schedule. That's according to private group Ag Rural, who is very well followed. Now, there are some issues here, especially in the southern part of the country where it's been a little bit drier. They said that there are already some farmers who are talking about yield losses in those areas. But overall, Brazil has a lot more rain coming. Most of the country, I mean, you got to call it 80 to 90% of the soybean area and maybe slightly lesser of the first corn areas. They're going to see heavy rains here over the next couple of weeks. So at this very moment, I'm still going to go with the idea that they've got all the potential in the world for a record soybean crop and a record corn crop. We did have our crop progress report out here from USDA yesterday. U.S. corn, 95% harvested nationally, up from 91 last week, ahead of the 92% average. We've only got a few states that have not yet hit the 95% mark in terms of corn harvest activity. Those states include South Dakota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and Pennsylvania. Those are your slower states here. In regard to soybeans, also 95% harvested, just below the 96% average. You've got several states here below 95% in regard to soybean harvest progress activity. Those states include Arkansas, Kansas, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, and North Carolina. But things should wrap up pretty quickly here. U.S. winter wheat crop, planting wrapping up there, 96% planted as of Sunday versus 94 last week, 97 on average. There's a few states that have not hit the 95% mark in regard to winter wheat planting: California, Missouri, Illinois, Texas, Arkansas, and Michigan. The big take home in regard to the crop progress report on wheat is the ratings. Ratings declined. 44% of the crop rated good to excellent nationally, down from 46 last week, and well below the 52% average. So we've got this tight wheat situation, and we've got a crop that doesn't have very strong ratings here to start off the season. It's very, very early, of course. Soybean shipments were softer last week, 1.68 million. That was down from 2.3 the week prior, 2.3 the same week last year. Accumulated inspections for the current marketing year of soybeans are down 27% versus the same period last year. Sales are down more than 30%. USDA, in all likelihood, as I've discussed at length, they're going to be forced to reduce this export projection. When do they do it, and by how much? Do they take the slower road, or do they do it all in one report? I'm not sure, but I think that that's coming. Corn and wheat inspections were also soft. Corn inspected for export totaled 618,000, down sharply from 867 the week prior, 833 last year. Accumulated corn inspections for the current marketing year are down 18%. Wheat inspections were also bad last week. Accumulated wheat inspections down 15% versus the same period last year for the marketing year. A lot of this goes back to the hurricane, the delays at the Gulf, that sort of thing. Remember, guys, December grain options expire Friday. Make sure you take a look at any remaining positions there. Remember, we are closed on Thursday for Thanksgiving, so we've got a normal 1:20 p.m. close tomorrow, and then we'll reopen Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. Central Time, and then we've got an early close Friday, 12:05 p.m. Central Time in the grain markets. The cattle market was higher yesterday. We had some nice gains in the fat cattle, more muted gains in the feeder cattle, but a nice up day. In the outside markets, the U.S. dollar is about flat. The S&P's down 2. The Dow is up 15. Bonds off a little bit. Gold's down $10. Crude is down 31 cents in the January WTI at 76.44. Just a headline out this morning that the U.S. will release 50 million barrels of oil from its emergency reserve, which was pretty much as expected. And they're doing this along with a few other countries, including China, India, South Korea, Japan, and Great Britain. That's according to a senior Biden administration official. Everybody have a great day today. I will talk to you guys same